Hello Diablo gamers, Mad Skill here. Today we will go over my Barbarian endgame bash build. I will show my gear, skill tree, and Paragon Board. After the build overview, I will provide footage of my pit tier 101 speedruns and all Tormented Bosses. We are not using any uber uniques in this build, and I have just one single item with double greater stat, so nothing crazy from the gear perspective. Okay, let's start with a gear review. Helmet with the aspect of might to have constant 20% damage reduction since we are spamming bash all the time. Chest armor with undying aspect to heal ourselves as we go. Paying Orger's gauntlets, the best in slot item for this build. We are activating its power with the leap before swinging bash. Pants of Bull Kathos to create earthquakes with leap, and for extra damage reduction while standing in those earthquakes. I wasn't lucky enough to get more ranks of bash here, so I'm currently dealing less damage than I could. Boots with hectic aspect, it helps a lot to reduce cooldowns of shouts. My second tempering is useless here, but I ran out of attempts to re-roll it. Trying to find better boots right now with ranks to Warcry. Two-handed mace with Moonrise aspect. Great power for extra damage, attack, and movement speeds. I went for bash, cleaves, and damage, while berserking, tempering on all weapons. First one-handed sword with Edgemaster aspect. Good option since we are always at max resource. Second one-handed sword with berserk ripping aspect to constantly apply bleed. Debatable. If you want any other legendary power here, you can switch leap to two-handed slashing weapon, but bleed application will be limited to leap skill only. I personally found berserk ripping to be a better option to apply bleed, even with bash swings. Two-handed sword with rapid aspect. We want to max out our attack speed as much as possible. First ring with an earthquake aspect, good damage boost while we stand in earthquakes. Second tempering is useless here as well. Ideally you want to roll Warcry cooldown reduction. Second ring with the aspect of giant strides to keep leap on low cooldown. Amulet of adaptability. Great option for basic skill builds, boosting bash damage. Let's move on to the skill tree review. Two-handed axe expertise for the extra damage to vulnerable targets. Max ranks to bash, plus enhanced bash, using two-handed mace. Skipping core skills section entirely. Max ranks to imposing presence. Boost levels with gear tempering, martial vigor on max as well. One rank to rallying cry with enhanced upgrade, unstoppable source when we need it on elite packs and bosses. One rank to challenging shout with enhanced upgrade as well. Same story, just to boost our damage reduction and maximum health on tough elite packs and bosses. One rank to Warcry. Enhanced upgrade is optional here since we are getting berserking with leap. I just spent one skill point for the extra source. Warcry is the main shout I'm using on cooldown, so if you find boots with ranks to Warcry, you can get even more damage. Booming voice for extra shouts runtime. Guttural yell I've got from gear tempering, nice extra damage reduction. Max ranks to leap with enhanced upgrade, switching leap to two-handed mace as well. It took me some time to get used to leap, especially on console. I still fail to target it properly from time to time, but it is a great mobility skill if you master it. Max ranks in aggressive resistance, battle fervor, and swiftness. In the weapon mastery section, we max out pit fighter, slaying strike, counter-offensive, and defensive stance. In the ultimate section, we also max out heavy-handed, brute force, and wallop. Concussion is entirely from gear tempering, and 7 ranks is enough for two-handed mace. And lastly, unconstrained passive. Now let's quickly go over the Paragon board. You can check in more details using Planner in the description. I will show boards in the order I connected them. Starter board with Ire Glyph. Second board is Carnage with Might Glyph. Third board is Warbringer, only using a glyph socket here with Territorial Glyph. Next board is Blood Rage with Rumble Glyph, connecting Bonebreaker board from here, using Exploit and Glyph socket. And the final board is Decimator with Undaunted Glyph. Okay, that is pretty much it. Thank you for bearing with me while we reviewed the build. Next is my speedruns of the Pit Tier 101, and a quick showcase of defeating all Tormented Bosses, including Lilith. Fun fact, I've got 3 uber uniques from bosses while recording for this video. I will upload a video on that right after this one. Cheers.
ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready.